Today on Locked on Buckeyes, we dive into what Ryan Day is focused on a week and a half away before the battle with the Wolverines and the importance of Sonny Styles to the Buckeyes defense.
You are Locked on Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Buckeye fans? Welcome back to another episode of Locked on Buckeyes for the Locked on Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast. It is Thursday, November 16th in the year 2023, and today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs helps find the right people for your team faster and for free. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply. During today's episode, we will discuss the importance of Sonny Styles for the Buckeyes defense, and the Buckeyes are led by Roddy Gale to a 24-point win over Merrimack. But first, Ryan Day is consistently going to get asked more and more questions about Jim Harbaugh, about Michigan, about sign stealing, and a lot of things that can distract him at this point in the season, especially when the game against Michigan is right around the corner. No, the Buckeyes should not look ahead to the Wolverines when they play them on the 25th, because they have a game on the 18th. And this game on Saturday against Minnesota could be viewed as a look-ahead game. Not a letdown game, but a look-ahead game, because you're playing in a game against Minnesota while looking ahead to what's going to happen a week from that game it being played against Minnesota. So many ways and so many areas that the boys can be distracted, and Ryan Day can be distracted, and so many other coaches can be distracted. But Ryan Day is focused on the mission, and the mission of the week is beating Minnesota. And that came up during a recent presser when Ryan Day was asked about Jim Harbaugh. And I do believe the exact thought was, would he want Jim Harbaugh to coach in the game? And Ryan Day responded with this quote, "It's like I said, I appreciate it, but we got to beat Minnesota. We got to play our best football. Worry about the things we can't control," end quote. And I love Ryan Day's response there. I love the pause. I love him understanding the moment. I think he even understands why the question is being asked. Numerous reporters are going to ask different questions about Ryan Day and, hey, do you want Jim Harbaugh there? Or what does it mean to you? Or sign stealing? Or do you have any comments on X, Y, or Z? And Ryan Day is telling everybody what the mission is. And the mission should be focused on Minnesota. Think about how hard it's going to be during any given year, knowing you're playing Minnesota, a 500 football team. PJ Fleck, a good coach. The Gophers are going to be motivated to play in the shoe for many of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. This might be their only chance to play in the shoe, so they want to highlight. They definitely want to leave with a win, and they want to leave a win they can then bowl eligible. They want to make that happen this coming Saturday. And Ryan Day also knows, if you don't have your mind focused on the mission, if you are not focused on the task at hand, what can happen? You could get off track. You could get behind the 8 ball. You could get down by 10, 15, 20 points. Why? Because your focus is looking ahead to Michigan when you got to win this game right in front of you. This goes back to just regular old football, but especially in the college football playoff era. If you go back to the BCS era, or even before that, when there was the AP poll that decided who was a national champion, and they even tried to have the Bowl Coalition and the Bowl Alliance to help try to have a true national championship game, even though the Rose Bowl, whoever played in that game, was not really a part of the group of conferences that were going to be able to play for the right to win the national championship, which is why you had co-national champions back-to-back years, I believe, before the BCS came out. Why? Because the system didn't make any sense. But in the BCS era, you had to win out. Like, you literally have to. Right now, if Ohio State doesn't win out, what are they doing? They have a chance to not make the playoff at the end of this year. Remember, the top 5 teams in the country are undefeated right now. Florida State could easily run the table, ACC champ, Buckeyes or Big Ten champ, whoever it is, could run the table and win the Big Ten. You could have Georgia run the table and win the SEC. You could have Washington run the table, win the Pac-12. What are we going to have? If the Buckeyes lose a game, they might not be in the playoff, which was one of the things that would hurt Ryan Day and the team right now, not focusing on the right thing. Of course, I am sure I hope Ryan Day has somebody on the staff scouting Michigan right now. We heard Urban Meyer, and I've heard Urban Meyer say this a few times, where there was somebody on his staff that was focused on Michigan so much and so hard. That was their job, that they even knew who the Wolverines were recruiting, that they knew exactly what was going on with the players that were new on the recruiting board for the Wolverines, the commits. They knew Michigan so well that it helped Urban Meyer not only prepare for the game that was right in front of them, but also have a good game plan for the battle with the Wolverines. I don't know if Ryan Day has a guy on the staff that did that job, but if he does, great. Still, even if you have that guy that can help you prepare for the Wolverines, that's not the next game on the schedule. It's the 16th of November. In a couple days, the Buckeyes and the Golden Gophers, not the Wolverines, will battle it out on the field. So as there's going to be more noise coming out and more conversation that may lead to some confusion by some, that may lead to some people wondering, well, this is more important than Minnesota. This is more important than, no. The mission, the goal for the weekend, beat the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Also, might I add, it's senior day. You don't want your seniors to go out with an L the last time they're playing in the shoe. You don't want that to happen. Last time, yes, because the game against Michigan is in Ann Arbor. The Big Ten championship game, if the Buckeyes happen to play in that, which I believe they have a good chance to, that game is in Indianapolis, Indiana. And then you have bowl games and you have the Natty. None of those are in Columbus. The Buckeyes don't want the seniors don't want their last game in the shoe to be a loss. So they got to keep their head and focus on the right thing. Ryan Day also has to keep his head and his focus on the right thing. And the mission is simple. Beat the Minnesota Golden Gophers. What did Ryan Day say? And I'll close it out with this. In the midst of answering a question, responding to someone wondering if he would want Jim Harbaugh coaching in the game, Ryan Day said this quote, "We got to beat Minnesota," end quote. Simple as that. You got to beat Minnesota. That's the goal. That's the mission. And that's the focus of Ohio State right now. Have you ever thought about the importance of Sonny Styles to the Buckeyes defense? I have, and I'll discuss his importance in a bigger role on Saturday. It's coming up next year on Locked On Buckeyes. This episode is brought to you by our friends at LinkedIn Jobs. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps find the right people for your team faster and for free. It's free and easy to create a job post at LinkedIn Jobs. Once you create your job post, add your job in the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. This episode is also brought to you by Athletic Brewing. Now, time for your game changer of the week, brought to you by Athletic Brewing Company. Much like Kyle McCord, Athletic Brewing has completely changed the non-alcoholic beer game. They make non-alcoholic beers that actually taste good. Kyle McCord's performance against Michigan State, and they were looking back up a few days. It was phenomenal. It was fun. He was efficient, and that's the same kind of performance I expect from Kyle McCord in a couple days against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Athletic Brewing Company, non-alcoholic brews at a store near you. That's where you can find them or buy them online at athleticbrewing.com. First-time customers can use code LOCKEDON to get 15% off your first online order. That's code LOCKEDON at checkout for 15% off at athleticbrewing.com. Near beer, exclusions and conditions apply. Athletic Brewing Company, fit for all times. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. Sonny Styles is a very important piece of the pie for the Buckeyes defense in 2023. One of the best things about Sonny Styles is his youth, his maturity, but also him able to be a sponge and quickly absorb what is being thrown at him by the Buckeyes coaches, by the leaders on the Buckeyes team, Tommy Eichenberg, Steele Chambers, Lathan Ransom, Joshua Proctor, and others, as they throw things at Sonny Styles. As Sonny Styles gets more game reps under his belt, watching him play is so much fun. And when I think about Sonny Styles and I think about what he means and his importance on the football team, yeah, I thought nickel, corner, or cover safety, or maybe even a third linebacker at times. That was the thought that I had when it came to Sonny Styles this year. And I'm bringing him up today because Sonny Styles is going to have to play some of the best ball of his life in a couple days, and especially against the Wolverines in Ann Arbor. Why? Lathan Ransom's not there. And as many people want him to play closer to the line of scrimmage, which I think he's going to be phenomenal if that's his role, keep it in context and let's keep it real. There's a good chance that Sonny Styles will not be able to play closer to the line of scrimmage, depending on the team, especially with the way that some quarterbacks, J.J. McCarthy, going to try to do a little play action. Forgive me, I cannot say Minnesota's quarterback's name right now. I have not practiced it enough. That's my fault there with that statement. But I trust me, his name starts with a K. I've heard numerous broadcasters say it while preparing for the week of this weekend's game. Trust me, man, that's just one of them names. Little bit hard to say. I need more time and practice to get it down pat. But Sonny Styles this year, he's also supposed to be truly a freshman in high school. Freshman in college, not going back that far in life. He ended up reclassifying. He came to Ohio State in what would have been his senior year of high school last year, reclassified, basically skipped his senior year of high school to be a freshman, finished high school in 3 years, left after his junior year of high school to come to Ohio State. Last year, he played in 10 games for the Buckeyes, had 9 tackles, had 1 TFL, and did a decent job as a freshman, but he's supposed to be a senior in high school. So if you're supposed to be a senior in high school coming into college at 6'4", 220 pounds, I don't think many people think you're going to play 2 games, let alone 10. In the very next season, he's a full-time starter at nickel corner, cover safety has had to go back to strong safety due to an injury to Lathan Ransom. Will be there throughout the rest of the regular season. Might have to be there in the Big Ten championship game, if the Buckeyes play in that game. And I say if because I am not ready to cement and say the Buckeyes are going to be in the Big Ten championship game at the end of the season. Maybe you are, but buddy, I am not. I cannot make that claim right now. Sonny Styles so far this year, his numbers have been really, really good. 40 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 1 pass breakup, and 1 forced fumble. And that is through 10 games this year, basically averaging 4 tackles a game. I do think, though, over the next couple of weeks, his numbers and tackles numbers will go up, especially against Michigan. If Ohio State wants to end up trying to play a single high safety instead of the cover 2 look, hey, who comes down? Well, Proctor's going to come down. Proctor, if he's back in there, he coming downhill. He's going to try to pop you. Man, the angle might be bad, but man, when he gets there, you going to feel it. Why? That's what he does. His angles have been better this year. Not perfect. Not they're drastically improved. He's been healthy for most of the season. And I think he can play single high safety occasionally. I don't think he can be a Jordan Fuller. Not going that far. But I do think Josh Proctor in some games, if you want to bring Sonny Styles closer to the line of scrimmage, and maybe you want to take him back a little bit at the snap of the ball, whatever it is, you're going to need him and his maturity to keep rising. His youth is one thing, but that young man has been mature. He has been a fun player to watch. But when I mentioned earlier, this is supposed to be his freshman year. Excuse me. Yes. If he didn't reclassify, this was supposed to be his freshman year of college. You skip your senior year. That's what I call it, reclassifying, whatever. I basically say you're skipping your senior year. Because I try to explain it to my brother and other people and say he reclassified. He reclassified and supposed to be a class of 2025. Now he's class of 2024. Wait, what? Bro, he just skipped the senior year of high school. Okay, most people can understand that logic and that phraseology. So why not go ahead and use it? That's what happened. And Sonny Styles is going to be needed by Ohio State, needed in a big way against Minnesota, against Michigan, and if the Buckeyes play Iowa. The offense isn't the best, but what else do you find and what do you see? You're going to need Sonny Styles to play really good because Iowa's defense is really, really good. And the Buckeyes offense might not get the ball in favorable situations or might not be able to move the ball consistently because Iowa's defense is really good. So they're going to need the Buckeyes defense to do phenomenal things if that's the matchup in the Big Ten championship game. Once again, I am not sitting up here saying the Buckeyes are going to be in that automatically because not only are there 2 more games left, one of the teams that the Buckeyes are playing left in the regular season is the Wolverines, your bitter rival, who is a really good football team. They have statistically a better defense than Ohio State. I'm going to leave that there. I say by the numbers, not saying by the eye test. I'm saying by the numbers right now. So, Sonny Styles' importance to the defense is huge. They're going to need him to bring his play to a different level over the next couple weeks, especially against the Wolverines of Ann Arbor, but you can't look that far yet. Do it against Minnesota. Raise your play. Level it up a little bit. Why? It's going to be what the Buckeyes defense needs you to do to win big on this weekend and next weekend as well. Last night, Roddy Gale Jr. went off, had a phenomenal game, and he led the Buckeyes to a 24-point win over the Merrimack Warriors. What else went down? What had me so excited to watch the Buckeyes play last night? We'll discuss that next on Locked On Buckeyes. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch those winnings roll in. Prize Picks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this football season. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Prize Picks offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. Go to prizepicks.com/lockedoncollege and use code LOCKEDONCollege for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. This episode is also brought to you by Billiards Plus. Billiards Plus has the best selection of pool tables, game tables, shuffleboard tables, and more, and the best service in Central Ohio. And did you know Billiards Plus has top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties that's longer than most roofs? Billiards Plus carries the best pool tables from Brunswick, Alhassan, Canada, Billiards, and more. Plus, top-of-the-line grills from PK, Napoleon, Memphis, and the Griddle that could very well be the last grill you own. The perfect gift for any occasion is in stock at Billiards Plus. Go big with an awesome pool table or shuffleboard table, or a little more modest with a dartboard or poker table. No matter the season, Billiards Plus has you covered for all your indoor and outdoor entertainment needs. And the people at Billiards Plus are the best part of the experience. Kenny, Sarah, and the whole staff will take amazing care of you. Billiards Plus, visit their showroom on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin. Thank you for making Locked On Buckeyes your first listen or first watch of every single day. If you'd like to continue the conversation about Ohio State's game in a couple days against Minnesota outside of the space of this podcast, head to subtext.com/LockedOnBuckeyes. This year's Buckeye basketball team, whoo-hoo-wee, they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. Early this season, they've had to play against the zone, different variations of the zone. Last night, Merrimack, they did a phenomenal job. Came out in a 3-2 zone. Occasionally, it was a 2-3 zone. Occasionally, it was a 4-out, 1-in zone. I mean, this defense rotation, it made Ohio State work in the first half. And there were times the score was 5 points, 6 points, 7 points, 8 points, 9 points, down to 5 points. Why? Because when you don't see a defense a lot, and Chris Holtmann mentioned this early in the game, actually in the interview before the game started, that, hey, this is a really good team. They do some things we don't normally see. You saw that early on. That defense they run, there's a lot of zones you see out there. It went from a 2-3 to a 3-2. If it got late in the shot clock, went to a matchup. It's like, whoa, we don't normally see this. And it will give you fits. It will make things difficult. But second half, Chris Holtmann, the Bruce Thornton, Roddy Gale, the rest of the Buckeyes, they realized what Merrimack was doing. And the rest is history. The Buckeyes won the game 76-52. They improved their record to 2-1 on the season. The one loss was last Friday to Texas A&M, where Bruce Thornton had a career high in points in 24. And Roddy Gale Jr. had a phenomenal game. And when I talked about and thought about the zone that Merrimack ran, what's an easy way to crack a zone? Get penetration. Now, it might be dribble driving, but that's a little bit difficult with a zone because you're going to get help from somebody else. Once you get into somebody else's zone, the defense slides over. Oh, whoa, that's not going to work. So you had Evan Mahaffey in there. You had Battle in there. You had Roddy Gale in there on the inside. Devin Royal in there on the inside. What were they trying to do? Work at the high post, do some penetration, do some cuts, get the ball to the big man. But what were they trying to do? Find a way to crack the zone. And Roddy Gale, off some cuts and really being able to get inside and penetrate a little bit, man, he was phenomenal last night. 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Jamison Battle, a transfer from Minnesota. He had 13 points as well. They were the only two guys that started for the Buckeyes that had double digits. Bruce Thornton had 8 points. Evan Mahaffey had 6. Felix Okpara had 4 points and 4 rebounds. Off the bench, Zed Key had 11 and 12, 11 points, 12 rebounds. Scotty Middleton had 5. Bonner had 5. I believe he was a Baylor transfer. Devin Royal, a freshman, had 4 points. And that was all the points that were scored last night. Etzler got in for the first time this season. Hardman and Parks, also Parks, a freshman, that he got in as well. Last night's game, even though it was against a mid-major school, that was one of those points in the season that you can see, hey, I know it's early. Only game 3, but we're overcoming not so much adversity where you're down, but overcoming adversity because some of the things we want to do aren't working like we want to. And it's going to be one of those seasons where Roddy Gale's going to get a whole lot better. Felix Okpara is bigger, has a bigger frame, but has to figure out how to work with it. Zed Key has a smaller frame. You can easily tell and quickly see he is trying to work and play with a lighter frame this year. And it's not just one where it's like, oh, what I see the weight on the roster. No. It's a physical appearance. His face looks slimmer. You see more definition in his shoulders and in his arms. I mean, he is in his entire body. You see more definition, and it's like, whoa, Zed, you've done something right, getting your body healthier. But like I said during the game, and this part came out loud. Yeah, sometimes I have some audible thoughts and comments while watching games. I don't know, man. Like Zed Key was doing well. I know health and things like that, but Zed Key was doing well, playing a little bit heavier than he currently is last season. And even then, even though he's lighter, his feet are not that quick. I think it was in the first half. A guy got the ball at the top of the key, took one dribble, 2 dribbles. Hey, Zed Key was so slow, stuck in mud. So defensively, if he's down low, he's good. You get him out in space, still a liability. What's not a liability is Ohio State's offense figuring out what needs to happen to overcome this type of a zone. Literally in my notebook, don't have it with me right now, went from a 3-2 to a 4-out-1 in, back to a 3-2, occasionally a 2-3. Late in the shot clock, it went to a matchup. I mean, there was so much going on with the defense that, hey, Merrimack's coach did a phenomenal job of shaking things up, making things hard for Ohio State's offense in the first half of this game. Also, got to give a credit to the defense of Ohio State because there are numerous times they forced shots late in the shot clock. I mean, 8 seconds left in the shot clock, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, even some shot clock violations because of their sticky defense, and they made Merrimack work for everything. The final score, 76-52. The Buckeyes basketball team advances and improves their record to 2-1 early in the season. We're out here on a Thursday. One more day of shows before the Buckeyes take the field Saturday afternoon in the shoe at 4 p.m. Eastern on Big Ten Network against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. It's senior day. It feels like it crept up on us. This season has gone by oh so fast. You can follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at jstevens07. You can even send all of your emails to jstevens317@gmail.com. We are out of here, Buckeye fans, on this fine Thursday. I'll see you next time.